In today's video, we'll be taking a look at the New York Mets and their pitching staff, and I'll be making my predictions on how I think they'll fare this year in 2018. Find out who has the most wins, most strikeouts, and who stays healthy next. What's going on? I'm Matt O'Leary back with another video. Before we get started talking about the New York Mets and their pitching rotation, I just want to first shout out that you can follow me on social media at Matt O'Leary NY on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. So, the New York Mets and their pitching staff, always a story. Is this finally the year it pans out? Well, it looks like it's going to be the year in which all five of their quote-unquote big aces are going to pitch one game after the other. It looks like it's going to line up that way if everyone stays healthy through the next week. Lord knows what can go wrong in the next week because we've seen it before. But I'm going to get started with my predictions, and I think I'm erring on the more optimist side, I guess I would say. I think I do have some realistic aspects to it, but some of it is me being an optimist, an eternal optimist Mets fan. So let's get started. Noah Syndergaard's the ace of the staff. He's going to be pitching on opening day. And I do think he stays healthy this year. Knock on wood. I think he stays healthy. And I have him going 17-6 with a 2.70 ERA and 230 Ks. I love Noah Syndergaard getting up in the 230 K range. I could definitely see it happen. He is pumping straight cheddar in spring training right now, so absolutely love to see that. And the big key, obviously, for each one of these guys is if he stays healthy. But if he can, I think he's by far the best pitcher in this rotation. His career ERA is 2.89, so an ERA in the high twos doesn't really seem too much of a stretch with 2.70. And I'd sign up for that year right away. I think the Mets team was a little bit better. I think it can be upwards of 19 pushing 20 wins on the season, but I'll say 17-6 with a 2.7 ERA. I'll sign up for that any day of the week. All right, so behind Syndergaard, the clear number 2 is Jacob deGrom. I have him going 15-7 with a 3.23 ERA and 220 Ks for the deGrominator. Now, he did cut his hair, so we're going to see how that factors in. Last year, he was 15-10 with a 3.53 ERA. Not the best year for deGrom. I think he struggled at certain times, especially giving up the home run ball. But I think he bounces back in 2018 for this Mets team because I think they're all around going to be better. They're probably going to be in the race for a wild card spot, something they really weren't last year because they were decimated with injuries. But I'm expecting Syndergaard and deGrom to be healthy, and I expect them to be a very solid 1-2 punch. I don't know if they're the best in the league, like MLB.com recently said, but I do think that they could stay healthy and that there could be a competent to very good 1-2 punch. Up next, this is when the optimism starts coming in. Matt Harvey. I think he stays relatively healthy. I think it gives you 25 to 30 outings. I don't see him going over 30, but I think 25 is pretty fair. And I think he bounces back to an extent. I have him going 13-9 with a 3.55 ERA and 180 Ks. I think any Mets fan will sign up for that, especially after the last 2 years. I think Mickey Callaway is going to play a big role, not only for this Mets pitching staff and their bullpen, but also specifically with Matt Harvey, because he really seemed to lose his way the last couple of years. So I think he bounces back in 2018. It's a contract year. He's a Scott Boras client. He's going to be wanting a big-time payday. So I think the stats end up backing it up. Again, I don't think the Mets are going to give him any type of big long-term extension, but he's going to try and get as much money as possible. And in order to get paid, you got to perform in a contract year. I think Matt Harvey proves that he could be a competent pitcher. Wow, that couldn't come out. Might not be, there we go, the Dark Knight anymore, but he can still be a decent 2 or 3 in a pitching rotation. As we go forward, let's look at Steven Matz. Not a good year last year for Steven Matz. I think you're lucky if you get 20 to 25 games from him. I'm going to predict him going 9-7 with a 3.47 ERA and a $1.20 Ks. Again, I think 20 to 25 starts is where he's going to fall. Last year, he was under that. He was injured a lot. So we're going to see. I think he had 13 starts last year. We're going to have to see with him. But counting on Steven Matz to be healthy and give you 30 starts, I don't see it. I don't. I think he's talented, but I think injuries are going to hold him back. He's the lone lefty in this staff. But Injuries. That's the thing with this rotation. How many years in a row are we going to talk about injuries with this rotation? Every single time. That's going to be the focal point with this team. This stench. I can't stand it. Can't stand it. Extremely frustrating. And as we continue to go down this list, we're going to get to the guys who are going to be more and more injured. So let's go Zack Wheeler as the 5 for right now, although I think they're going to really use 6 pitchers, but story for another day. I see him going something like 8-6 with a 4.33 ERA and maybe 125 strikeouts. He probably won't stay healthy. I give him something like 20 starts. I could see him getting in somewhere around him and Matz being both around 20 starts. And I think you'd be pretty satisfied if they both gave you that amount. If it's more like 10 to 15, what we've kind of seen from both of them last year, and it's a story for another day, and the Mets aren't contending. But if we're under the impression that they're going to be in it at the end of the season in a wild card spot, this is what it's going to have to be. And then finally you have Jason Vargas, who's on the shelf right now. I don't think he sees a ton of time, but I think he eventually is like a spot starter, 6-starter type of guy. And with the health of Matz, Wheeler, and Harvey all combined, he's going to get some action. I think he goes something like 5-5 with a 4.25 ERA, and I'll give him 75 strikeouts. He's not a huge strikeout guy. He's an older lefty, so he's not going to be striking out a ton of guys. I think I'm a little bit on the optimist side. Let me know in the comments, so definitely comment below. If you agree with me, give me a thumbs up. If you enjoy the content, please subscribe, and we'll be doing more predictions as the baseball season nears closer. Once again, I'm Matt O'Leary. Please give me a follow on social media, and we'll talk to you next time.